Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Josh Rupert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man of truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man of truth.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man of truth.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man
First
of
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back. First Contact Radio, firstcontactradio.com. It's the last week of 2014. Getting ready to head into a new year. Let's see what we have in store for this last week, starting off on today, Monday. We have a sun sign in Capricorn, a moon sign in Aries. Capricorn's an earth sign, Aries is a fire sign. So, first thing we look at, the elements. We have earth. What is the movement earth does? Earth is stable. So we know that with Capricorn, things are stable, dealing with things that are not moving around. Capricorn is an earth sign, means it deals with things of the physical world, things that are earthly. That could be the body, our physical environment, the career that we have around us, anything related to that physical world. Just start off and just remember fire, water, air, which are the elements that go to create what is going on in the earth. And so if we look at this as the final of the elements, so it's what is the byproduct of the fire, water, and the air, the ideas, the emotions, and the words. And that is our mind, our conscious mind for today. The conscious mind are the things we're thinking of at this time, or what we consciously think about. Then we have the unconscious mind, which is Aries. Aries is a fire sign. So how does fire move? Fire moves around quite a bit, right? Doesn't really stay still. Light a candle and you'll see the flame moving all around, and will move around according to what the air is blowing around it, or what the other elements are that are affecting it. So if we have the fire movement going on under the surface in our unconscious mind, and the conscious mind is stable, we put these together to see how they work. Think about if you wanted to make some pottery. You might have the fire underneath heating things up to soften up the earth. They could work really well together. You have these ideas under the surface, but if these ideas are too much, sometimes the ideas and the fire can get so much that it can actually destroy all of what's going on in the earth, because the fire is so overwhelming, those ideas. And that's what happens when we go from a passionate state, and that passion turns into anger because we don't know how to properly channel it into the physical world. And so that's the challenge we have. How do we channel these unconscious ideas, this fire, into the earth, into the physical world that we're dealing with, into our physical body, our physical surroundings? And so that is what we're looking at, and that is our challenge for today. Aries is also the beginning, first sign of the zodiac, so there's a pioneer. So these are good ideas. How are we moving forward? As we're going into the new year, a lot of us are thinking about, okay, new beginnings. We get to start over fresh. It's a good thing. If we look over to see what some of the aspects we're dealing with are, we have Mars just shy of 10 o'clock, which is going to be an aspect with Capricorn. So Mars is directly related to Aries because it is the planet that is called the ruling planet over Aries. So Mars is all about passion, aggression, depending on how it's used. And so a nice, good, positive way means that there's something positive in the way the energy is going to be utilized as we move forward, looking for a creative way to express it. As the day progresses on, a little bit after 11 o'clock, it's 11:19. These are Pacific Standard Times. We have a lesson between Capricorn and Mercury, communication. So the way in which we communicate is going to come up against a square, a lesson. So that physical world and how we communicate in the physical world. And if you think about these signs, one of the things that we want to look at when we look at these signs and the way this works is we want to think of a cumulative effect. So we know that we've got Aries underneath the surface, so we're starting with the Aries and we're starting with the Capricorn. And then as we build from there, we start to see the first thing that's going to happen is Mars gets into this mix right here. And as Mars gets into that mix, now the Aries is stimulated in a certain way. And then as we progress on throughout the day, the next things that take place when Mercury starts to affect things as well is all of the effect that happened prior to that with Mars coming into the mix and with Aries there is now just added on top of that. So now the way in which we communicate that actions of Mercury, the messenger, are going to be affected by what happened with Mars, what happened with the Aries ideals. And as we progress on later, we start to see that Jupiter gets into the mix, so now things are going to expand. Jupiter's all about expanding things. So we're taking this idea of this Capricorn, this physical world, this earthiness that we're dealing with. We have all these fresh ideas of Aries being pumped into it, and we have an opportunity to find a creative expansion. We have an opportunity to learn a new way after this creative expansion on how to communicate. And then as things go on even further, once we've gotten to that communication with ourselves and learned that lesson, now things are going to expand even more because Jupiter wants to come in and bless the opportunities that we have to expand more and more. And then as it gets into the evening time, Venus is going to jump into the mix. And Venus is all about another lesson here, because now we have to take what we've learned and apply it to, or apply love and imagination to it. So as we just build on what's going on, we start to see a progression. And that's what's going on through each and every day. Energies are just hitting us, and then we're dealing with them. And then another energy comes, and we deal with that. And another energy comes, and we deal with that. And we're just moving through the energies. And as we learn how to move with the energies and move through them, we're learning how to move in that field that we operate in every day. Sometimes we kind of move the energy aside, sometimes we step aside, sometimes we go with it. It's like a dance that we're doing with the energy all around us. Okay? So that's what and how I like to look at the astrology and what we do with it. Remember, none of this is anything that we are supposed to be subservient to. None of this is what we're supposed to give our power up to. It's just looking at energy to see how it's moving, so we know how we're moving with it as it makes its way through the universe and the cosmos all around us. We go over here to the Jewish calendar. Today is a 7 Tevet is the day, which is equivalent to the 29th of December. The daily thought is grasping truth. It says blind faith cannot grasp truth because it does not grasp anything at all. Intellect cannot grasp truth because intellect is finite and truth is infinite. Only the eyes of the soul, its inner wisdom, can grasp truth and know it as she knows her own self, for she is truth. Okay, so only the eye of the soul, the inner wisdom, can grasp the truth. So that's what we're looking to find, that inner wisdom. Our current moon phase, waxing moon, 60% of the way there. So we know waxing means we're going up towards the full moon. Space weather, current solar wind is at 537, so we are moving along. Not super fast, but faster than what normally we see, which is in the 400 range. Planetary K-index is in the quiet area, moving to an unsettled place sometime over the course of the next 24 hours. One large coronal hole down here, almost the whole bottom of the sun, seems to be exposed. However, it's not facing the Earth, and we have some smaller ones around here. This one, if it makes its way around here and continues to expand, could be facing us, but it's not there yet. M-class flare possibility is dropping down. It was at 25 over the weekend. We're moving down to 20, and X-class is dropping down from 5 to 1. Geomagnetic storm activity is going to be dropping as well, or staying steady from what it was yesterday, actually. 20 active, minor 5%, severe 1%. And high latitudes about the same as it was as well yesterday. So everything's kind of stable. with what's going on in the cosmos. And remember, what's going on with all of this is breathing that's taking place. Everything is alive in the universe. Everything breathes. The sun breathes in and out. As the sun expands and breathes outward, the energy that it breathes out into the universe is very important. And then as it inhales, it's very important. And so there's a constant exchange, a constant relationship between ourselves and the sun, between the sun and the energy around it, the cosmos, the planets and the stars. And so as we learn to understand this relationship more and more, we start to see how everything is working in synchronicity. You know, a lot of concern happens when people think that we're going to get hit by these solar flares. Maybe we might at some point in time, but I like to think that the great creator understood enough that this sun was put there not to destroy us, but to operate in a very specific way. So these flares happen to bring energy to us, but not to destroy us. That's not the idea. Why would, if we were to create something, we wouldn't create something in the middle of it that is the sustainer of the energy and life around there and set it up to destroy. That wouldn't make any sense. We would set it up on a timing, and that's what I believe the sun is. I believe it's on a very specific timing that God put in motion so that it moves and breathes and helps the universe while keeping us alive and providing all of the energy that we need without destroying us. And as humans, we get all crazy down here because we don't know if it's going to destroy us or not. But if we just trust in the process of how God would create and understand that God's for us, not against us, we would understand that the sun is therefore also for us and not against us. And last here, our look at the sky. So no matter where we are under the dome of the city, light pollution, deep sky objects await our binoculars. At least a few of them. One is the big Alpha Persei Association, now high overhead. So if we go and look at this here, we don't have a graphic for today, but we see the one that was yesterday, 28th. So at 27th, 28th, that means the moon's going to be over here somewhere. And we'll look over to the right and we'll see that square of Pegasus. And we could see ourselves, over here we have Aries. Okay. And that is what's going on out there energetically in the world. Just remember, it's all energy. It's all energy, and as we learn to deal and work with the energy around us, we find ourselves moving through life more efficiently each and every day. And every day, we have a new opportunity to learn how to use that energy. Through the course of the day, we have many times to learn how to work with the energy. It's that simple, and by getting in touch with it, we get more in touch with who we are and what we're about. And that is that. UFO News is up next. Here we go.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. First sighting takes us to this very interesting set of objects. Alien Egyptian artifacts were discovered in Jerusalem and kept secret by the Rockefeller Museum. So look at some of these here. Here we have what appears to be a very obvious spaceship right here in the middle in this one. There's the head of an alien, very definite. Looks like E.T. It says remarkable ancient relics have been discovered that could really and totally rewrite Egyptian history. The artifacts, which were discovered in the former home of Sir William Petrie in Jerusalem, were allegedly taken by representatives of the Rockefeller Museum shortly after the discovery became known. So here we have a video, 4 minutes and 1 second in length. And as we just go through here, we'll be able to see a bit more of the videos. Okay. And we get some good shots. Again, you need to go ahead and watch this video. See what's here. There's our flying saucer. Okay, very interesting and fascinating what is found. Alright, I'm going to leave the video so you can watch it, firstcontactradio.com. Here we have a crop circle in Texxcoco, Mexico, December 25th. Texxcoco, Mexico. Okay, a little side view here. About 200 people arrived at kilometer 23 of the federal Texxcoco dairy route in Mexico, where 8 strange symmetrical shapes were formed in 500 meters of farmland. Neighbors attribute these figures to a work of beyond. The police was present at the crime scene from 7 in the morning, as well as the elements of the Department of Public Safety. However, no one could determine how these strange figures formed. Some neighbors say it was a great light in the sky, despite being cloudy and rainy on Christmas Eve, but did little case. But then in the morning, seeing the 8 figures, began to relate the lights with the phenomena. Property owners asked the curious to be removed because they are damaging barley input for brewery. According to the owners, it's common in planting figures with the wind forming, but not so convinced the curious. So there's the crop circles. Very interesting ones. Are not usually the specific geometrical shapes that we usually see. There's a 22-minute, 23-minute video on the subject matter. Here we go up to Mars, an object that looks very much like a coffin. We've all seen coffins. We know what they look like, and that looks like a coffin to me. I found this coffin last week, but it was so overburdened with 12 to 13 hours days that I never got to it. Glad to see there were others who caught it for us. The stone object looks like a coffin. Coffins are made to stand the test of time, but this one is made from a stone-like substance. What would it take to get NASA to turn the rover around and examine the contents of this box? It looks to be about 1 meter across and 1.5 feet high. Lots of alien species are short, including species of greys. The eyewitness says, my buddy Kjell sent this over to me and said, sure would love to know what's buried in that coffin. This little box sure does look like modern concrete coffin liner, as well as stonework on the back part of the hill that looks like stairs or some sort of stonework from some older civilization's constructions. I'm sure it has been found by plenty of anomaly hunters by now. Video is 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Good little find and bit of research here. All about this. And remember, these sightings come to us from official sources, but they're usually just skimmed over by those official sources because they don't think humankind can really deal with understanding what this is all about. However, they are wrong in their guess because there are many who want to know, simply as evidenced by the fact that we're looking at the story right now. Because we certainly want to know and are not running away and hiding from this info. We're curious and wanting to know more. Right, this is a cigar-shaped UFO over Mauna Kea, Hawaii. Amazing new footage of a shaped UFO, cigar-shaped UFO. 2 minutes and 12 seconds for the video from UFO OVNI. And let's see what we have here. Okay, our location. And let's see what we've got here. There we go. Moves fast. See it right there. Nice, good cigar-shaped object right there. You can see it here in the close-up. I stopped the screen right there. Looks like we've got not only that, but another anomaly here. And is this something else here? And perhaps here? A couple of things up there with it. Maybe right even here as well. Moving along with it, whatever it might be. That is not a meteor, that is for sure. Okay. Excellent. Several people reportedly witnessed a UFO above Capua town in Caserta, Italy. Object in question: dozens of witnesses have seen a UFO above Capua town, and a group of friends snapped a photo of it, according to Italian news sites. Located approximately 20 miles north of Naples, Capua is a town of almost 19,000 people. On Monday night, December 15, witnesses claimed they saw a bright cylindrical object over the town of Capua. Some went on to say that the light could be observed all over the town. Others say that the brightness of the light could be seen anywhere in the country. While on top of the hills in the community of Sant'Angelo in Formis, a group of friends had taken a picture of the object. The picture shows a bright yellow cylindrical object, the same description given by witnesses across the town. Well, caution has been given by the news website, saying that all UFO cases need to examine carefully before making any assumptions. They also report that witnesses are very much convinced that they saw out the ordinary activity in the starring that night. An Italian news website, it.blastingnews.com, claimed that the UFO sightings in Capua area is not new, though no reference has been given to other sightings. It is also asserted that 2014 was a year UFO sightings in Italy and more in the entire world. Aside from the picture, no other details have been provided regarding the sighting of the movement of the object. For now, the best thing to examine about the sighting is the picture. Right there. Bulgaria is going to begin studying extraterrestrials. Study of extraterrestrial intelligence and UFOs, soon to be established at the Bulgarian Academy. In the recent NoInvite.com story, a conference on the subject of extraterrestrial intelligence and UFOs was held at the Bulgarian Academy of Science Space Studies Institute, otherwise known as BAS. As announced by Professor Lazar Filipov, BAS plans to form a working group to look into the phenomena. The working group and the conference were reportedly inspired from a UFO sighting in October 2014 above Sofia's Kremakovci district. The report witness of the UFO event is identified as a serious man and seems to be the only one to have seen the object. Bulgaria has become a place of UFO sightings in recent years. One major incident involved the UFO in the night sky above Askova, Bulgaria. Ben Henson, a former FBI agent and who has worked on the Sci-Fi's channel Fact or Fake Paranormal Files as lead investigator, suggests the video footage showing UFO activity over Haskovo was not edited. And of course, nice good long article here all about extraterrestrials, but it's good to see that Bulgaria is now going to move forward with their research. UFO hunter films low altitude sphere, says he felt watch. So we can jump to the 2-minute 27-second mark for the very low object. I felt like I was being watched. New and old footage in this video by YouTube user Horse Farmer 1000. Okay, so let's see, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. That should take us right, let's see, about here. We'll jump just shy of the mark, and here's where we're going to see the object. Okay, and there's our object in question. Okay, just like the picture shows. Alright, and one last story for today. British artist inspired by alien abductions. A British artist has claimed that he was abducted by a UFO, and now aliens are projecting ideas into his brain, inspiring him to paint. Lloyd Canning, 33, believes he was first captured by extraterrestrials in 2005 after he saw a massive spaceship hovering above the car. A few days later, he says that he felt compelled to paint certain images that he thinks about are the aliens' way of communicating to the human race. Dad of two, a former scaffolder, is so certain otherworldly creatures are using him as a medium that he has given up his job and now paints these spooky images full time. Lloyd, from Evesham Works, has used his so-called encounter to create works that show portraits of planets and aliens, and after years of keeping his collection secret in fear of being laughed at, Lloyd says he now regularly exhibits at alien conventions and is preparing for his first international show. He said, when the visions are coming on, it feels like a load of anxiety building up and up, sometimes for days. Then all of a sudden I have a clear image in my mind that I just have to paint. Ever since that first sighting, I had these crazy visions that just come over me. When that happens, it's like I don't have a choice. I just have to paint them. It's something that I think that I have to tell people about. I think I was chosen because I was an artist, and they know that they could channel through me. Lloyd, who claims to have been visited by 6 alien spaceships, had his first alien experience nearly 10 years ago when he was driving home after buying a new second-hand van. He was amazed when he saw a huge, round, shining spacecraft flying overhead, and later that night he started to feel unwell. As the anxiety built to a near intolerable level, an image sprang into his mind, and he rushed to recreate the image in paint. Lloyd, who lives with partner Sharon Pullum, claims that he has sent a new alien image theme almost every week and has amassed a huge collection of work. He said, as it passed over, I was completely awestruck and I froze. I couldn't understand what had flown over me. It was a massive object with no wings and flew without any sound. It was a roundish shape. I couldn't see the whole craft, just the underbelly of it. It was absolutely massive. I kept my artwork secret until 2012. I had shown it to a few people, my friends and so on, but didn't feel it was ready to show it to the world. I had my first exhibition in April last year, and since then I've exhibited in Manchester and Cotswold and Redditch. I met someone at a recent event in Leeds, and he explained to me about channeling. He said there's a strong chance that you're being used by extraterrestrials. They could be channeling through you. Lloyd, who is looking to host a one-man show in Los Angeles next year, added, it's kind of a scary thought. Nigel Watson, author of a Hayes Manual into UFO Investigation, said it was quite common for aliens to communicate in creative ways. He said it's quite common for a UFO sighting to have a life-changing consequence. UFOs are not necessarily aliens, but instead could be beings from parallel universe visiting through wormholes or portholes, or they could be time travelers from the future. It's quite common for people to have telepathic messages, or they do automatic writing, as in this case, illustrations and artwork. In a way, if they are aliens trying to contact us, it would be logical that they wouldn't send us a text message, but might contact us through telepathy or other means. The artist says, art for me is simply a way to keep myself sane. I feel I have so much to express. I get a buildup of energy. I just have to go crazy in my art studio until I collapse. My great-grandfather was an artist, and my father is an artist, so art has been in my life since day one. All my paintings are hand-painted using acrylics over many layers. Ideas literally come to me like a train hitting me in the head. I then turn into painting machine, and I can't relax until it's finished. When a piece is completed, I'm completely exhausted, both mentally and physically. It drains all emotions out of me, and I often even dream I'm actually in my paintings. So there you go. Very good story. This happens quite a bit, more often than we realize. Many people are inspired by things that they have experienced with extraterrestrial visitations, and more people find that these visitations are not visitations that were intended to harm at all, but that were intended actually to help. As we explore more and as we become more open to this, we'll find out the reality of this situation. It's quite fascinating indeed. All right, that brings us up to a short little break here. I'll be back momentarily, and we'll continue on.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love.
let's continue on. So one subject that fascinates many people is the subject of angels. What are angels? So I thought that I would pull some information up so we could explore this a little bit today. So here's an article, first one. I've got 3 different sites we're going to look at. First one here, what does the Bible say about angels, comes from gotquestions.org. What does the Bible say about angels? Angels are personal spiritual beings who have intelligence, emotions, and will. This is true of both the good and evil angels, also referred to as demons. Angels possess intelligence, show emotion, and exercise will. Angels are spirit beings without true physical bodies. Although they do not have physical bodies, they are still personalities. Now with each one of these, you can see there's a nice little passage here in the Bible that talks about them. And you just hold the mouse over there. So if we got Matthew 8:29, it says, and behold, they cried out, what have you to do with us, O Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before time? Corinthians 11:3, but I'm afraid, as that the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your thoughts will lead astray from a sincere and pure devotion to Christ. So we can go on, and little references to the Bibles and how they feel and their thoughts. It says, because they are created beings, their knowledge is limited. This means they do not know all things as God does. They do seem to have greater knowledge than humans, however, which may be due to 3 things. First, angels were created as an order of creatures higher than humans. Therefore, they innately possess greater knowledge. Second, angels study the Bible and the Word more thoroughly than humans do and gain knowledge from it. And third, angels gain knowledge through long observations of human activities. Unlike humans, angels do not have to study the past, for they have experienced it. Therefore, they know how others have acted and reacted in situations and can predict with a greater degree of accuracy how we may act in similar circumstances. Though they have wills, angels, like all creatures, are subjects to the will of God. Good angels are sent by God to help believers. Here are some activities the Bible ascribes to angels. They praise God. They worship God. They rejoice in what God does. They serve God. They appear before God. They are instruments of God's judgments. They bring answers to prayer. They aid in winning people to Christ. They observe Christian order, work, and suffering. They encourage in times of danger. They care for the righteous at times of death. Angels are an entirely different order of being than humans. Human beings do not become angels after they die. Angels will never become and never were human beings. God created the angels just as He created humanity. The Bible nowhere states that angels are created in the image and the likeness of God as humans are. Angels are spiritual beings that can, to a certain degree, take on physical form. Humans are primarily physical beings, but with a spiritual aspect. The greatest thing we can learn from the holy angels is their instant, unquestioning obedience to God's commands. Okay, now let's jump over to this next site here. This one is compellingtruth.org. What are angels according to the Bible? It says angels are created beings. They are not entirely separate type of creature from humans. They are an entirely separate type of creature from humans. People do not become angels after death, and angels do not become human. They are as different to us as we are from the animals. Angels are intelligent beings. They are emotional beings in each individual personality and will. Angels are spirit beings and do not have physical bodies. Both good and evil angels are created beings, and they do not have limitless knowledge. They can be everywhere at once and are not as powerful as God. Satan, also here referred to as Lucifer, is still just an angel. He is nowhere near as powerful as God. However, angels are much more powerful than human beings and possess greater knowledge. Angels understand the Bible and the world, and they believe in the prophecies of God. Even the fallen angels who hate God are not atheists. They know that God exists. Angels also understand humanity very well. They do not have to study the past, for they have experienced it. There are a limited number of angels, and they do not reproduce. The angels created at the beginning of time are still with God, and the demons that fell at the beginning are still fallen. Because of the longevity, we can assume that they have a much greater knowledge and understanding of God and humanity than we do. In this case of fallen angels or demons, we have no hope of winning arguments with them unless we use the scripture to combat their lives. By depending on the flawed and the limited human understanding, we will fail every time. Angels, like all created beings, are subject to the will of God. The good angels are mobilized by God to come to the aid of believers. They do many other things as well, including praising and worshiping Him. The angels rejoice in God's works and serve Him. They stand before God in His presence. They proclaim God's judgment. They minister to humans and sometimes bring answers to prayers. They watch Christians' works and sufferings. They encourage and they care for believers when they die. Interestingly, the Bible never says that angels are created in God's images, as humans are. Though it appears that they can take on physical form, the most important thing we can learn from the holy angels is their submission to God and their right view of Him. All right, and more questions about them. And this site here from chabad.org. What are angels? The Jewish belief in angels goes as far back as the book of Genesis, where we read about angels calling out to Abraham at the binding of Isaac, angels appearing in Jacob's dream, Jacob fighting with an angel, and many more accounts of angelic activity. Angels are then mentioned numerous times throughout the other books of the Torah, prophets, and scriptures. According to Jewish tradition, an angel is a spiritual being, and it does not have any physical characteristics. The angelic descriptions provided by the prophets, such as wings, arms, etc., are anthropomorphic, referring to their spiritual abilities and tasks. The first angels mentioned in the Bible are Gabriel, Michael, in the book of Daniel. In the earlier books of the Torah, when people asked angels to disclose their names, they refused, such as in the above-mentioned encounter of Jacob with the angel, and the story of the angel who appeared to Samson's parents in the book of Judges. The Jerusalem Talmud comments that references to angels by name only became common in the period following the return of the Jewish people to Israel in 348 BCE. In the Talmud and the Kabbalah, many more angels are identified by name. Some other commonly known names of angels include Uriel, Ritziel, Metatron, and Lela. Maimonides explains that all angels fall under one of 10 ranks, namely Hayot HaKadesh, Ophanim, Erelim, Kasilim, Seraphim, Amelkim, Elokim, Bene Elokim, or Cherubim, and Ishaim. These ranks refer to degrees of the angel's comprehension of God and have a greater understanding of God and His ways than others. The Hebrew word for angel is malach, which means messenger, for the angels are God's messengers to perform various missions. Every angel is programmed to perform certain tasks, such as Michael, who is dispatched on missions which are expressions of God's kindness, Gabriel, who executes God's severe judgments, and Raphael, whose responsibility is to heal. Some angels are created for one specific task, and upon the task's completion cease to exist. According to the Zohar, one of the angels' tasks is to transport our words of prayer and Torah study before God's throne. Another type of angels are those who are created through the deeds of men. In the words of our sages, he who fulfills one mitzvah acquires for himself one angel advocate. He who commits one transgression acquires against himself one angel accuser. These are formed from the intellectual and the emotional energy which one invests in the performance of a mitzvah, the study of the Torah, or in prayer, or conversely energy applied in the execution of a sin. According to some schools of thought, the term angel in Jewish literature can also refer to the rules of nature, which, though ostensibly natural powers, are also godly endowed powers. His messengers perform His will. In our daily prayers, we refer to the songs of praise which the angels sing before God. The angels have shifts, singing at designated times of day or night. The types of praise they sing reflects the particular angel's spiritual status. The angel's singing is alluded to in the aforementioned story of Jacob's fight with the angel, at the end of which the angel pleaded with Jacob to free him, for the dawn has risen. According to Midrash, the angel's rush was because his shift to sing before God had arrived. Similarly, according to the Midrash, when Moses spent 40 days studying with God, he knew what time of day it was based on the changing shifts of the angel's singing. There is some debate among great Jewish philosophers whether or not the angels that the Torah describes as appearing actually assumed the physical form, or they appeared in the course of a spiritual vision or prophecy, in which the angels appeared as physical beings. According to all approaches, however, seeing an angel requires extrasensory perception, as the bodies of the angel are not comprised of all the basic elements of a physical being. Notwithstanding the great spiritual level of the angels, the holiness of the Jewish soul supersedes that of the angel. Only the Jewish soul has the ability to descend to the physical and the corporeal world and to refine and elevate it, for the human's divine soul is a veritable piece of God above, a piece of the Creator, as opposed to the angels, which are creations, albeit very holy ones. This reflects itself in the fact that angels are one-dimensional. Each angel has a specific form of divine service. The human soul, on the other hand, serves God in many different ways, expressing itself through love, awe, etc. In the Tanya, Rabbi Shur Zalman of Aleli writes that he heard from his masters that if one angel were to stand in the presence of the gathering of 10 Jews, even if there were no words of Torah being discussed between them, such a boundless and infinite terror and dread would befall him on account of the divine presence that abides over them, and he would become utterly nullified. Furthermore, angels have no free choice and are pre-programmed to serve God, whereas the human is entrusted with the mission of serving God, but it is given the freedom to choose to do otherwise. As such, the mitzvah performed by the humans are of much greater value than the angel's service and propel him or her to infinitely greater spiritual heights, as opposed to the angels who are trapped in a consistent level of spiritual consciousness. Rabbi Shalom Dov Bir of Lubavitch once described the feelings that he experienced while reciting the daily morning prayers. When I recite the part of prayer which describes the praise that the angels sing before God, I envy them. But when I read the Shema, the praise that the Jew sings before God, I wonder, where have all the angels gone? And one last piece here I found very interesting. This is a story, or an image up in the sky. There you go, a very definite image of an angel. It says Sherry Abbott was driving along the motorway to visit her sister when the celestial angel formed in an otherwise clear sky. The 40-year-old whose daughter, Lawrence Cunningham, snapped a photo of the cloud believes that the winged vision was a festive message from her father, Colin Abbott, who passed away 20 years ago. I just started sobbing. It was absolutely stunning, said the single mum from Boston, Lincolnshire. It was an angel sent down for me and nothing else. It was a sign to tell me everything was going to work out. Look at that. Pretty awesome, huh? As I was driving, I quickly told Lawrence to take a picture on her phone before it disappeared. The pair were driving along A17 between Sutton Bridge, Lincolnshire, and Kings Lynn, Norfolk, towards her sister's home in Great Yarmouth, where the apparition appeared. Very cool. Very, very cool. So have you had any angel experiences in your life? If so, and you wish to share them, please do so. Send me an email. Angels are always around. I certainly know that I've felt and experienced many angels around me at different times, helping me throughout life in moments of being stupid. I know that angels have been there, certainly helping me to get out of situations, and in moments of being good, they've been there to celebrate within the experience itself. And I know you've all had similar experiences, because we have these angels, these guides, these beings around us all the time that are here to assist us. They're going through the process just like we are. And when we really pay attention to them, and we really pay attention to what's going on around us, we begin to feel more and more of their presence. And it's pretty awesome when we know and experience and feel what's going on. So I hope that every one of us continues to have opportunities to have more and more of these experiences, because that's what's part of the wonderful thing of life, right? having all of these great experiences. All right, here we have a message. This is from N5D. And it says, the wisdom of Sitting Bull's grandson. Okay, there's an image of Sitting Bull. This is from Phil Lane Jr. In 1969, my grandfather, Frank White Buffalo Man, the grandson of Sitting Bull, shared with me a wonderful spiritual insight and understanding that relates, amongst other things, how we must learn to respect, honor, love, support, and understand each other as different nations, tribes, communities, peoples, religions, and the cultures of the human family, and the spiritual qualities needed to be victorious in manifesting freedom and human rights. He said, you know, grandson, the Great Spirit has given wisdom to all people. To every living thing he has given something special. Some people receive their knowledge and understanding through books. In your life, grandson, you must read and study books, but remember to take with you on your journey only those things that bring more unity within yourself and others, that bring goodness and understanding and help us to serve one another in better ways. The Great Spirit, he continued, also gave our indigenous people and all other peoples who live close to Mother Earth both wisdom and knowledge through dreams, visions, fasting, and prayer, and the ability to see the lessons of the Creator has put in every part of creation. Look at those trees standing over there. The adder does not tell the pine how to move over. The pine does not tell the fir to move over, but each stands together in unity, their mouths pressed towards the same Mother Earth, refreshed by the same breeze, warmed by the same sun, with their arms upraised in prayer and thanksgiving, protecting one another. If we are to have peace and true freedom in the world, he said, we too must learn to live like those trees. Look, grandson, at the beautiful teachings that the Creator has put into the little stream. Feel the water and see how gently and lovingly it touches your hands. It travels through deserts, mountains, and many places, but it never turns its back on anyone or anything. Even though it gives life to all things, it is very humble, for it always seeks the very lowest spot. But it has great faith, power, and patience, for even if a mountain stands in its path, it keeps moving and moving until finally that mountain is washed over into the sea and is no more. These are spiritual gifts that the Creator has given each one of us, and if we are to be happy within ourselves and with one another, and to find true freedom, we must develop these sacred gifts, he concluded. And of course, very wise wisdom from the grandson of Sitting Bull. Much wisdom from the Native Americans. I think tomorrow or one of these days this week, I'm going to bring up some of this native wisdom so we can look at some of the wisdom that has come from our ancestors here upon this planet. Much, much wisdom. As I told you, the song Great Spirit that you hear me play a bit of every day came from Chaco Canyon, where I had spent a week camping and had a wonderful vision of the elders, the ancestors of the land, and then I felt gifted with this song, which just channeled right through me, and I wrote it down exactly as you hear it playing. And that is always been something. One of my favorite songs of all time has been that one. Just how it came about and what it has to say. All right, here's our message for today. It comes to us from Elijah.
Message from Elijah.
Channeled by Jan J. Castle. December 25, 2014.
I am Elijah. Beloved brothers, beloved sisters, we are one and we serve the one force and power, God. Today we have reached a new point in time. Great healings have been fulfilled and great healings are coming up. The energy field of this ascending planet has been purified again and has been freed from the dark and sluggish influences out of the collective field. This relief of the planetary energy field paves the way for further steps in transformation. Today, it is about the transformation of all life and not about individual revolutions in this world, and it is significant to understand this. Revolutions always belong to time and they always occur in that fabric, yet transformation is a process, which aims at overcoming time and space. Therefore it is no longer useful to talk about revolutions when the change in society is being envisaged. Rather talk about the change of all life, of the transformation of society, instead of talking about a revolution. Transformation means the alteration of a condition into a different form, whereby the old dies and the new is born. Yet the new always emerges from the transformed old condition. The old therefore does not really die, instead it alternates its form. An energy remains energy, the cosmic prime matter is immortal, what goes away is its form. Revolution means the induction of new and the release of old life conditions. Thereby the means for its success are manifold. Successful revolutions push back the old, yet never dissolve it. This is confirmed by the fact that revolutions have to return over and over again, because the old ghosts always reappear. This means, in the future talk about the transformation of human society and say goodbye to the expression of revolution and to the energy, which this one sets free in you. On lower vibrating levels revolts are the custom, on highly vibrating levels, which many human beings have already scaled, only the transformation of one's own being and of the planetary mother of all life counts. I stand by you in love. I transfigured thousands of years ago and I preceded you, because what was divine for me is also given to you, to each one of you human siblings. I know how heavy expectations are, I know how long the transfiguration of a being can keeps you awaiting. Never let yourself be discouraged. Because truly, the days are numbered and the now is the all-one reality. In the knowledge about the correctness of all things, in the knowledge about the significance of these events, in the knowledge about the grace, which we all partake of. Elijah.
Alright, good message from Elijah. Let's take a look at the Warrior of the Light passage for today. It's odd, says the Warrior of the Light to himself. I've met so many people who at the first opportunity try to show their worst qualities. They hide their inner strength behind aggression. They hide their fear of loneliness behind an air of independence. They do not believe in their own abilities, but are constantly trumpeting their virtues. The warrior reads these messages in many of the men and women he meets. He is never taken in by appearances, and makes a point of remaining silent when people try to impress him. He uses the occasion to correct his own faults, for other people make an excellent mirror. A warrior takes every opportunity to teach himself. Good message. Very good message. If you've never read through this complete book, The Warrior of the Light, the PDF, I found this PDF, so I've got it linked up to the site, so you can check it out, or go to the bookstore, pick up the book, go to Amazon, find it somewhere. Very, very insightful book, very easy to read, and it has one of these daily passages that you can check out each and every day. And that brings us to our meditation for today, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. And breathe in again. And exhale. And just allow yourself, as you continue to breathe in and out, to feel the synchronicity with the universe that breathes in and out each and every moment. As you breathe in and out, think about the sun breathing in and out. Think about the planets and the stars, how they all breathe in and out. And then bring your thoughts closer to the earth. And think about the grass breathing in and out. Think about the Mother Earth breathing. The oceans and the streams breathing. The walls of your home, imagine them breathing in and out, for they are all made up of energy as well. And finally, back to yourself, and feel every cell in your body breathing in and out. And as you understand this give and take of the universe, you understand the true abundance of life. For with each and every inhale and exhale, You are drawing in from the abundance of the universe and then adding to. There is never a shortage. There is always an abundance. You never have to ask. It is always there. And as we learn the lesson from our breath and the breathing in and out of life, that abundance exists everywhere, we let go of all of those thoughts of fear that get in our way. For we know that whatever we need is available, just as the breath is always available. As we think about life and we think about the things we need in life, we think about how when we need them, they come into our lives. And we let them go when we are done with them. And as we really think about this, we understand that there isn't a moment where we don't have what we need. And it is only our perceptions of this illusion that have us think otherwise. So imagine yourself moving through life today, feeling the give and take of life, the to and fro, the breathing in and out, and feel and understand that each and every moment everything we need is available. And all we have to do is think of the form that we need that in, and it will manifest to us in that form. And the more we do this, the stronger our faith is, the stronger our belief. And as we continue to breathe in and out, we understand that this breathing is a relationship that we have with life. And that all of life is related. Each and every one. Each and everything. Keep breathing in and out, and let us contemplate the words of these affirmations. I love every cell of my body. I am pain-free and totally in sync with life. I am grateful for my healthy body. I love life. And continue to breathe in and out, thinking these positive words and any others that may come along. So let our subconscious mind continue on this journey, moving through life, breathing in and out, feeling our connection in this relationship with life. And let us bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Now take one more deep breath. Let the energy just recycle through your body, and then exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our prayer for today. Keep breathing as you go through life. Just breathe and see what gift each breath brings to you as you continue to move through life. And see the gifts that breath brings to each and all things that are alive around you this day. I'll be back tomorrow with more news, more information, and we'll continue on from there. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other. Let's make the world that we truly want it to be. The world that God has designed it to be. Talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.